Hey guys, what's up? It's iFlynn here, and welcome to episode 31 of Warframe, the Ultimate Beginner's Guide. And in today's episode, you might be like, Flynn, we basically covered everything. And I'm going to be like, no, we haven't basically covered everything. There's still a bunch of stuff that you need to do to make your Warframe account great again. Okay, or great. You know, maybe not great again, but great. Okay, so kind of makes a lot of sense. But saying you've jumped into sorties and you basically know everything you need to know about like general progression throughout the game and stuff like that, it's time that you focus on like building up your account, earning platinum and farming all the other frames, and then kind of just having every frame at your disposal type of thing. Same with weapons, same with mods, and all that different type of stuff. So what I want to talk about first is what you should like realistically be aiming for as a player who has like, there are one or two good sets of gear. So like one or two frames which are fully formed and you can use within like mediocre level content, and then get through it with ease, pretty much. What you should be basically focusing on to get platinum, right? So usually what I do is I would go out of my way to farm prime sets of new and already existing primes within the game. So let's say, for example, Hydroid Prime or Necros Prime or whatever. Basically, what you would do is you would go out of your way to farm the relics that will drop, the Necros Prime Blueprint, the Necros Prime Helmet, Necros Prime Chassis, and Necros Prime Systems, and then you would have all of those different parts, and then you would sell that off to another player for like 80 platinum or something, okay? And then in doing so, you're allowing yourself to more effectively get, slots for your Warframes or slots for your weapons or whatever the case may be, so you can really feel like you're bulking up your account. Alongside doing that, you'll be farming things like Focus, not Focus, sorry, but you'll be farming things like your Endo and just other resources in general, which will allow you to craft more weapons. So basically what we've done throughout the series of this guide has got you to a point where you can more or less take on, any content in the game, give or take a few things like, you might need a specific frame to do like a specific type of mission, and you'll learn about that whenever you get to it type of thing. So like, a good example is a interception with augmented enemy armor in a sortie, which is like level 100 enemies. Like you can't solo that with any old frame. You have to have like a stealth frame like Ivara or something to solo that, or like a really good crowd control frame, like maybe the Irradiate and Disarm build for Loki, which of course you'll learn about as you progress through the game and learn more about builds and stuff yourself. But basically, we're just going to be building our account up, and that's all that we're really here to do. So you're going to want to go ahead and take a look at your, what's it called over here? So your little void kiosk at the back, that's what I like to call it, or your relic refinement station or whatever. So what you're going to be going for is prime sets. So where I usually start whenever it comes to farming a prime set is I always go for the blueprint first. So if you're trying to look for like a specific prime set, let's say for example Banshee Prime, who goes for like 80 platinum at the minute. Again, remember you can get the prices for all these stuff on Warframe.market by simply just typing in and seeing what the lowest selling price is for, and then selling it for that price within trade chat or on Warframe Market, whatever the case may be. So just go ahead and type in Banshee, okay? And then you'll see, if you flick through all your different tabs, you'll see all the relics that you own, which will drop Banshee parts. So this Meso S4 relic here that we have just lying around our inventory will drop the Banshee Prime Neurotics Blueprint, right? Which is pretty good. And then we have a bunch of Neo relics here, Banshee Prime Chassis Blueprint, and then we have Banshee Prime Blueprint. So what I would do is I go out my way to play these relics first and get the Banshee Prime Blueprint, and then I would move on to the other parts, right? So maybe after I farm up the Blueprint, I would go for the Neuroptics because it's a common drop, right? And then after I get the Neuroptics, I would go for the chassis. Where are they at? So there's the chassis. They're rare. Let's see if we can find the system somewhere. So the system. So you notice how I would do it is I would go for the blueprint just so I have that base and I can keep track of what I have. And then I go for the common part. And then because I've like already ran, a decent amount of runs for the blueprint, which is the silver drop, and then I've ran a decent amount of relics to get the Neuroptics or whatever, I would then have my little void traces here to refine to get the, the systems or whatever for Banshee or the chassis or whatever. So then I would just run those until I eventually get the parts. And then obviously you're going to have to go out of your way. Maybe if you're super unlucky, you'd have to go out of your way to get your relics again. So if you guys don't already know, you farm lift relics from the Orc and Derelict Defense, which is a mission that you craft. So you go into your market, you type in Orc and Derelict Defense, it's a craftable key, you go ahead and you craft the key, and then you can play Orc and Derelict Defense in the Orc and Derelict, Relic, and that's where you farm your Lift Relics. You farm Meso Relics from the node Io and Jupiter. It's a defense mission. You can farm Neo Relics from Hydron on Sedna while you're leveling, as well as Xenion Eris, and then you farm Axia Relics from Xenion Eris as well. And then that's basically just where you farm your relics in general. Of course, there's going to be like different places which will have higher or lower drop chances for specific relics, which you can go out of your way to find, like on the Warframe Reddit, or just like looking for like a list of relics and stuff like that and relic drop locations. That's totally up to you if you want to do that, but of course that would be a lot for me to explain in this video or even show. I'll try to link a resource later on. But yeah, just in general, that's where you go to farm those different relics, okay? And then what you want to do is obviously farm up the entire Prime set and then sell it off to another player. So you go into your trade chat and you go, want to sell, and then you'd be like Banshee Prime, like so. So Banshee Prime, and then just type in Banshee Prime, and then that's it. And then people will DM you offers and stuff like that, and that's basically it. And yeah, you could even put your asking price in the message too, but whatever. But yeah, once you've done that, you're also going to want to focus on obviously claiming all the frames that you have lying around in your inventory. So we have Ember, Nyx, Trinity, Mag, Rhino, and Valkyr still to claim, because these are frames that we didn't claim throughout the process of us, traveling through the star chart. So you should have all these farmed up, and this is what you're going to be farming the platinum to buy the slots for, right? So you're going to need 20, 40... Oh, I just claimed Ember by accident. Didn't mean to do that, but you can go ahead and claim Ember if you like. Personally, I would claim either Rhino or Trinity out of all these ones, but obviously I went ahead and claimed the Ember like an idiot. Okay, there we go. I have more slots, but yeah. So you're gonna want to claim Rhino and Trinity. I just had slots lying around that I didn't know I had, but okay, that's pretty cool. And I didn't mean to press on Ember, so I messed up, but that's the thing. Ember's a decent frame. I'll show you how to use her, but you just want to be going out of your way to farm all of the different frames if you haven't done so already. So if you guys can't remember, Mars you get Frost, Phobos you get Mag, Ceres you get Trinity, Jupiter you get Valkyr, Europa, Nova, Saturn, Ember, Uranus, Equinox, Neptune, Loki, Pluto you get Excalibur, and then in Sedna you get Saren. So I already showed you guys how to kill Kayla the Fame, so you can go out of your way and farm up all your Saren parts if you like. I haven't done it yet, but again, you can go out of your way and farm up Saren if you like. She's not she's a good frame, but she's not a must-have frame, which is what I would place her in. But personally, I would go for Trinity and Rhino next, and then have those sitting in your inventory, because that will allow us to jump into raids, or a raid called the Law of Retribution. So if you get off your console and you go over here to the market, type in Law of Retribution. This is basically an 8-player mission, and it will get you a bunch of credits, because right now your credit amount is going to be very low, and at least in my opinion. So if you want to be like just grinding out mastery rank, for example, you're going to have to spend a lot of credits basically buying blueprints or doing research or like contributing to your clan's dojo or whatever. So it makes sense to do a mission type which is going to give you a lot of credits, and this gives you about 300,000 credits per run, implying you complete it. And it's a very straightforward thing. And basically what we're going to be doing in the next couple episodes is we're going to be making a Rhino build and a Trinity build, and we're going to be basically covering why Rhino is used within this raid and also why Trinity is used within this raid. And those are two very essential roles which you'll be able to fill. We're also going to talk about how Loki can be used within the raid. So basically a raid setup is going to be Loki, Trinity, Rhino, maybe a Nova or a Vauban or something. So really the last one you can swap around a lot, but you can complete this 8-player raid with 4 players, get 300,000 credits, and also something called an Arcane, which if you're getting good Arcanes, you can either attach those to your Cyandanas or your helmets, or you can sell them off to other players for platinum as well. So it just makes sense to be doing these daily. Raids are a daily activity, and the reset for getting the rewards for the raids will reset at the same time as your daily login rewards. So for me right now, because I'm in GMT, it resets at 12 o'clock at night, if that makes any sense. So that's your sort of daily reset that Warframe has in place. So you can't just keep on farming Arcanes over and over and over again and making a lot of profit from it, if that makes any sense. So that is basically that. But other than that, you want to be focusing on building your account up. So we're going to be farming a bunch of Endo as well, and we can get Endo from Sedna and these arena missions right here. But before we jump into these arena missions, we're going to want to get even stronger frames like Nidus or Octavia or whatever, because these missions are fairly difficult. Like if you try to jump into one of these, you'll notice that you get shredded more or less instantly, and the amount of endo you get depends on how many enemies you kill, type of thing, and how efficiently you are that you're doing this, because you can come in here and get like 250 endo per run, right? And the missions are fairly quick, implying you're doing it correctly. So we're going to want to go out of our way to get more powerful frames from the likes of quests. So if you head over to your codex right here, you're going to notice you still have a bunch of quests to complete. Now, we still have this here quest right here done, but if you're watching this guide after the launch of Plains of Eidolon, you already have this quest done, and this will basically allow you to get Gara. And Gara is a very powerful frame, and they give you her very early. So it just kind of sucks that, you know, this guy was made prior to the launch of Plains of Eidolon. Otherwise, you know, we would be getting Gara at the very beginning. Gara is super powerful. But there's a bunch of quests here. So, Saya's Vigil, this will allow you to get Gara. A Man of Few Words, this is just a quest for Clem. It doesn't really give you anything too important. Our Chains of Harrow, this will allow you to get Harrow, but of course you have to complete the War Within, and you also have to complete the mission called MOT or Mott within the Void. We have Sands of Inaros, you get this at Master Rank 5, and once you have it purchased off Baro Katir, who comes every 2 Fridays, he's the Void Trader. I'm pretty sure I've showed you him before. We also have the Silver Grove here, this is how you get Titania. You have to complete the Master Rank 7 quest, do the second Dream quest, and talk to a Marin in the New Luca room, which is basically just the leader of the New Luca. We have Glass Gambit. This is where you're going to get Nidus, who is a very powerful frame, who I use to farm Endo in the arena missions because of how powerful he is. So we can just go ahead and jump into that. So all we have to do is talk to Ergo Glassed in Parent Sequence room in any relay. And then we have, finally, Octavia's Anthem, who is, again, a very powerful frame, and we will be needing her to basically, like, do sorties solo and stuff like that as well, because Octavia is kind of insane. So, second Dream Quest, talk to Cephalon Suda in any relay. So, these 2 quests you can go ahead and pick up now. Chains of Horror, we're going to have to complete MOT. Sands of Inaros, we're going to have to wait for Baro Katir to come around. And then I'm not really too interested in Titania, because, in my opinion, she's not that good of a frame in terms of being useful, if that makes any sense. So on our to-do list, we have to get Rhino, we have to get Trinity, we have to get Nidus, and we have to get Octavia. So those are the next 4 frames that we're going to get, and we're also going to farm Necros up from Lephantos, or Lephantis. I don't know why I said Lephantos, because I said Necros, Lephantos, I don't know, but we're going to be getting Necros as well, and Necros is just going to make the process of farming materials easier, because he's a farming frame. Same with Hydroids, so we might also go for Necros and Hydroids. So we're slowly building up our collection of frames. You don't really need to worry too much about your weapons at this point. But, of course, if you're paying attention to your weapons, there's going to be other weapons out there which are very good. And if you want to, you can also jump on top of farming prime weapons as well. I would recommend probably one of the first weapons to go for if you're farming for any prime weapons would be the Orphos, okay? So if you just go into the top left-hand corner, type in Orphos, farm up the Orphos Prime Blueprint if you have any relics that drop it, which I do right here, actually B2. You get the Orphos Prime Handle, which is a common drop from Neo H1, and then obviously you want the blades, which will drop from these Meso relics right here. So yeah, that's what you want to be getting. Orphos Prime Handle. Let me see. Handle. Okay, we don't have any blades. Okay, that's interesting. So you don't get the blades from here. Oh, there's the blades. Okay. Blades is a silver drop. This one just drops both. That's pretty interesting. But this is a vaulted relic, so you can't get this one anymore. You need to get this one. Meso N4. That's pretty interesting. Okay, so that is basically it, guys. This is just kind of like a housekeeping video. Stuff where I'm like, okay, you have to go do this now. We're going to be doing this in the future, and we're preparing for that and things like that. But if you really want to, just go ahead, buy a bunch of different weapons and stuff like that from the market here. Buy their blueprints, of course, craft them. Pandero is a very good weapon. I recommend picking that up if you can. There's a bunch of stuff that we need to get done realistically, and it's all just about like how serious you take the game from this point onwards, because you do have a lot of knowledge to kind of just continue on and basically wreck face. So don't worry too much about events or anything like that if they show up, like the Razorback event right here. Like they're beneficial to do, but you don't have to do them. But yeah, if you need credits, Index, you need Endo. If you're playing solo or you just want to play with randoms, play Hyricon. on Pluto. You can also get some pretty good mods from there. You can also play the arena missions on Sedna, but again, we'll make that a lot easier by getting Nidus. Farm up all your frames, do your sorties every single day, and then obviously start farming for prime sets, and then we'll be able to sell those off for to other players for a hefty platinum income, if that makes any sense. So that's going to be all the advice that I'm going to give you guys today. If you guys want to see another video, go ahead and hit that like button below. Subscribe for more Warframe content, and I'll see you guys in the next one.